Welcome to the LOJ Conversions YouTube channel. My name is Steven.
I'm Rick Hoback. This is my 07 Nissan Frontier White Noise.
All right, guys, Steven from LOJ Conversions here again. Thanks so much for tuning into our YouTube channel. Today we're here with Rick Hoback and his, what year is this?
That's an 07.
07
with
Nissan
the 09 front.
Oh, with the 09 front. Can't forget that. So yes, his 07 Nissan Frontier. We're going to do a little build biology on this one, but I also want to give you a little bit of background on how Rick and I met as well, because it was kind of a funny story on how Rick ended up approaching us to building a Nissan Frontier for him of all kind of vehicles. So early 2022, Rick and I met at Charlotte Motor Speedway at my first ever regular season Optima event in my Nissan Frontier, and Rick was there helping coach another one of the drivers that was a good friend of him. Turns out, I found out later on that Rick is a driving instructor. So how did you end up seeing my truck, or what was that?
We were kind of pitted across from each other a little bit, and I started just kind of looking over the pits in my downtime, and I was like, that's really cool. You know, I like trucks, I like stuff, and I looked, and I'm a turbo guy, and I'm an LS guy, and I just kept looking at the truck. Wow, this is really a cool build. And I saw you guys later on that day kind of packing up, and so what's going on? And like, we broke apart, we need a lift. And I'm like, well, I know some people. I used to do Optima. I did Optima for 5 years, from 13 when it was an invitational only, to then 4 more years after that as a series. So I knew a lot of guys, and it was my first time being Optima in I think 7 years or something. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I said, can you fix it if I get you a lift and find the part? And you're like, yep. So I went over and asked my buddy Jonathan, can we use your lift in your trailer? And he said, yeah, whatever you need. And went and talked to some Trans Am teams. I think you end up sourcing the part.
Yeah.
And got it running the next day. You're running, and then I kind of noticed you on the autocross, and I'm like, I think I can tighten some things up. And we did a little work there, and then we went to the big course, and that was fun.
Yeah, it was interesting. We met through a small part failure on the truck. I think it was a clutch hose that failed, and we had to basically pull the trans to fix that, if you know LS and T56 transmissions, but you helped us get that sorted out. And then Rick actually came out with me on course in the truck, and that was my second time ever on a racetrack in my life, and Rick helped me basically drop 7.5 seconds off my lap time between my first and second sessions to tighten up the score. I actually ended up coming in second place in the truck class at that event. We almost caught Jesse. It was close, but it definitely opened up a lot of people's eyes on what that truck was actually capable of. So we kept in contact since then. I ran some events, and Rick would kind of remotely coach me. I'd send him telemetry data. He'd send me text messages, tighten it up here, you know, more throttle here, and the truck improved through the year. I ended up winning the championship that season, for 2 seasons after that as well, but we can save that story for another video. But basically that's how Rick and I met, and through those years Rick was like kind of really interested in the truck, and we started building more products for other Frontiers, because my truck was originally built as a one-off with no intention of building lowering kits and swap kits and all for Frontiers. But that truck, I guess, opened up enough interest in the aftermarket with people approaching LOJ to do more, so we decided to develop some products. And Rick kind of wanted to build a truck for himself and kind of be a test bed for flogging the stuff that we do, because Rick has a lot of seat time and a lot of different kind of cars, a lot of wild stuff, and that's how we ended up at this 2007 Frontier.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love weird stuff. It's not a collection. I don't know. The cars I drive, from twin turbo Corvettes down to a micro van with turbo Hayabusas in them, to trucks with LSs and Superchargers. I don't drive normal. I like weird. If it doesn't either scare me or challenge challenge me or break a record or do something, I'm not really interested. And this does a lot of that.
Yeah, right. Early on, it was a lot of the challenging you. We're getting stuff sorted out now, which, you know, that's part of developing new platforms, right? I mean, nobody races these things, and we're kind of paving a new way here. But the truck started life as a two-wheel drive, base model, 4-cylinder, crank windows, like work truck. A buddy from South Carolina with the Xterra actually found this truck on Facebook, and that's where we sourced it. And we kind of just decided on what can we build that showcases a lot of what LOJ does, but also gives some unique flair. So this truck has obviously an LS swap, like almost everything we built, you know, and it's a 5.5 liter Destroked LS2. So it's a 6.2 that has a 4.8 crank in it that brings it down to 5.5. Still aluminum block, and it's run the LS3 heads, and we actually put a magnitude supercharger, Heartbeat 2300 on that 5.5. And if you know, like engine geometry, big bore, short stroke is good for boost, and that's one of the reasons we did that. It helps engine longevity, it helps things live, and it's unique, right? It's something different.
It's fun. It's really fun. I'm a turbo guy. I turbo everything. But the torque from that supercharger, and it's pretty instant, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but the nice thing is with the smaller displacement, it's not like a big cube motor with the blower that's just an instant tire fryer. It'll still fry the tires, but it gives you a little more progression.
And I like the RPM.
Yeah.
Big RPM.
Yeah. It's like 8,000 RPM small block, so like it's cool. Like a lot of our other builds, it's running actually the factory Nissan 6-speed manual transmission in it, and we do that on a lot of our builds. We try to maintain as many of the factory Nissan parts as we can. It's running our LSA supercharger version of our 350Z accessory drive kit, so we're still running the factory 350Z alternator and power steering pump, but we update it to 8-rib, change the pulley arrangement a little bit to allow the blower to run on the same belt as the accessories. It's good flexibility. It was really intended originally for the 350Z swaps we do, but we adapted it for this platform as well.
I like it when I race so much that I can go to a parts store and find something. If I'm broken, oh, it's a 350Z part.
Yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
These are, even as custom as it is, it still uses a lot of stock stuff.
And that's what we try to do, right? I mean, if you're going to build a car, you're going to swap a car. If you can use as many parts that came on it already, like that saves you money in your build. It makes the build more enjoyable and, like you said, more supportable as you're racing and braking stuff. We kind of skipped a lot jumping right into the engine. I kind of want to go back and get to like wheels, tires, platform about this truck that we dropped that engine into, because obviously it's more than just an LS swap that we're looking at here.
Right.
So it is still running on the factory Frontier chassis, but what we did on this truck is something we did very similar to the Xterra we built that you might have seen in the previous video. I would like to call it a chassis drop, not a body drop. So a lot of guys with trucks, to get them low, will actually section the floor of the cab and the floor of the bed to drop the body and cab further on the frame, but the frame stays in the relative same position compared to all the suspension stuff. And this, because the way the modern not unibody, but the modern body is constructed, doing a body drop on one of these trucks is very challenging. It makes the interior way more cramped.
Yeah.
So like, to get it low without doing that, we did a chassis drop, and what I'd like to say on that is we took all of the suspension mounting points on the frame and actually raised them all 2 inches so that the body and the frame drop, but the suspension raises up to get the truck lower. And what we did differently on the back of this truck is we actually installed a Nissan Pathfinder independent suspension rear subframe. So this is not running a live axle anymore. It's different than a lot of the off-the-shelf kind of suspension kits you would find. But what that did is independent suspension functions better from a handling perspective than a live axle ever will. Unsprung weight, all that good stuff. But it also opened up differential options because that independent suspension uses the same diff as a 350Z. So anything you put in a 350Z, put this. And
it's one of my favorite parts. I really like the tunability of it. honestly, I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
Everybody that looks underneath it is like, what is going on underneath this thing? I'm like, oh, it's, just a couple little things. It's mostly stock. It's nothing. And it looks amazing under there. And it handles so well. I mean, I can tune camber into it. I can tune whatever I want into it for whatever situation we're in.
Rick has been running, like he said earlier, running the Optima series for years. So we're actually here at another Optima event today filming this. He's been running the truck in the autocross. We're going to be out on the big track tonight and tomorrow. It's a really dynamic, usable setup. And the irony is, like, the ride quality is pretty good too.
It's good. It's surprisingly good.
For how stiffly sprung it is, like, the truck, it rides well.
Yeah.
And that's something a lot of our customers say, even with our off-the-shelf drop kits for these. It's like the truck actually rides better than it did stock, but it's lower and handles better too. So
it hauls stuff too.
Yeah.
I put wheels, tires, I put stuff in there.
Well, you're not used to that with the track car, right? You can actually put all your gear in the back.
Corvettes aren't doing that. The microbus, that's not doing it.
For sure. Covers the engine and drivetrain, kind of the suspension, the brake setup. You've got a long history of working with Wilwood.
Wilwood's fantastic to work with. I know when we first looked at them, like, we gotta put Wilwoods on Wilwoods, and you're like, they don't really make anything, and I'm like, if I can get you together with them, can we do something? And that's what happened.
Yeah, it's ironic. This truck has the first Wilwood kit I ever put on a Frontier, and since then, I've worked with the guys at Wilwood, their sales and marketing and engineers, and we actually have an LOJ Wilwood big brake kit for these cars. It uses all Wilwood components, but it's only available from us because we did the engineering work for Wilwood to make the hats and the brackets and all. And now you can go on our site and buy a Wilwood brake kit. We make two versions, actually a compact rotor setup that's for off-road trucks, and then a big street sport truck road race setup as well. So we've got options. And
it's unbelievable. The brakes on it, I mean, it's going to stop. So
for sure.
If you're going to autocross, road race, or honestly, if you got a kind of show truck and you want to really showcase something different, those big brake kits are awesome.
Oh, for sure. And the cool thing with Wilwood too, right now they have all those like custom caliper color options you can do. You literally get the brakes any color you want. It's pretty cool. But wheels and tires, pretty standard for what we run on all of the Frontiers. They're 19 by 11.
Yeah, 19 by 11. Yep.
Right. And what tires do you have on it today? I feel like the tires are different every event. But
they are. So today I have some Kendas. It's their new Max Plus tire. I kind of did a little bit of work with them and just trying to, I didn't really develop it, but just testing out some stuff with it. It's a really cool tire. It's super affordable.
Yeah.
A lot of the drift guys use them because they're so affordable and they're grippy. Is it a top tier, best, stickiest tire? No. But for the money, those things are awesome. They're less than $200 a tire.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're burning them off, you're not.
It doesn't
burning your wallet too bad.
Right.
You know?
The comparables are going to be 400 plus.
Right. Awesome. And these are 4-star wheels, and believe it or not, they're actually for a Dodge Viper. And Nissan Frontiers and Dodge Vipers share the same lug pattern, and they're probably the only two vehicles in the world that have that lug pattern. But fortunately, we're able to leverage fairly inexpensive aftermarket wheels for Vipers, and rather than having custom wheels built for these platforms. So, that's worked out really well on a bunch of our builds that we've done. From the body up, the body on the truck's pretty stock.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a work truck. Honestly, someday I may show up with a ladder rack for a little bit of ballast in the rear. I'm not. Don't be surprised.
Put a cap on the back.
Yeah, don't be surprised.
Nice. So like so many of the builds that we've done, we run a Haltech engine management system on this truck. And we're running their Nexus R3, which is kind of not the Big Daddy R5 VCU, but it's up there. It's got a built-in PDM, and it's able to control a lot of the electronics in this truck. One of the reasons we like running the Haltech products in Nissan specifically is because of Haltech's ability to integrate with the factory CAN, so you can retain things like factory gauges and air conditioning. Now, when we were originally putting this truck together, it was going to be more street truck focused, and we had air conditioning on it, and we had cruise control, and we had the factory gauge cluster in it, and then Rick was like, we're going to go more race car. So
can't help it.
Yeah, air conditioning came off, save weight. gauge cluster went out the window for a Haltech digital dash so we can monitor more stuff, but still the premise still stands, to have canvas integration with the factory electronics wherever you can. It helps everything in the vehicle. So
the AC button still works. So sometimes I roll down the windows and hit the fan on and just hit the AC button just to
pretend.
Yeah, it works.
Nice. So Haltech R3 engine management, and then we should talk about like the cooling system in this truck, because as anybody knows, if you're racing like positive displacement forced induction LS engines, like they are heat boxes. Like they are just notorious, difficult to keep cool. You look at like factory Corvette ZR1 setups or the Camaro ZL1s, they have massive coolers for everything, and we kind of went similar on this truck. It actually runs the same radiator that I run in my Frontier, we run on all of our race Frontiers. It's a giant CNR racing setup, but we also added coolers for
everything. Power steering, for the blower itself. There's coolers all over that thing, and it never gets, honestly, it doesn't see over like 186, 189. I never do. Even on the road course, if I'm just going lap after lap, it never moves.
We should talk about the interior a bit, I think, because we did a lot of stuff there. I don't know if you want to.
There is. I mean, the seat is phenomenal. Full containment seat's very important for me. I just prefer my head being locked in. I had hit a wall at a good amount of speed one time, and I didn't move in the car. I thought I was gonna get hurt, and I didn't. And that full containment seat, since that day, I had one then, and I will always have them. So I
not
really,
this truck. It was
no, no, not this truck. Long time ago. But I really believe in that safety stuff. So I really want every safety aspect in there. The bracketry that you guys made, the mount the seats, you could tow the whole truck with the seat bracket. I mean, it's phenomenal. The roll cage itself is so well built. My favorite touch is the fish plates, the white noise fish plates. That's what we named it, white noise. It's a little rowdy. It's just a little noisy.
A little.
Yeah. So I really enjoy the interior. The Alcantara suede around everything is super fun. And just the little touches you guys did for like the console, the center console. It's got giant cup holders. It's got my dials in it. It's got my keypad. It's a great interior.
I mean, me having experience racing myself, I kind of understand that like when you're strapped in, you have very limited reach. And I tried to make sure that all of the important stuff, like we have a rotary trim knob set in this so that you can actually dial in and out traction control on the fly. So depending on the track conditions, grip levels, you can add more or less traction control. The CAN keypad allows you to override the fans on if you want, or override the fuel pump on if you're trying to diagnose issues. It just allows you to force on data logging, a bunch of stuff like that.
I love the keypad. I use that keypad like so when I'm fueling it. We run a mix of E85 and regular gas, pump gas, and I try to get that mix where I want it. It'll read whatever we want. We can put E98 if you want it, or 0. Doesn't matter. It reads it. But I have a certain mix I try to stay with, so I'll just key up the dash, key up the surge tank and the pumps, and just start filling, and I'll know the dial will just read for me, and I'll know right where my mix is. I'm like, all right, we're good.
That's a good segue, because we kind of glossed right over the fuel system in the truck.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this truck, it is still running the factory fuel tank, but we installed an external fuel surge tank. So we're basically pumping fuel out of the gas tank, the factory tank, into a fuel surge tank, and inside that small 1-gallon tank, there's a high flow, I believe it's a Hellcat fuel pump we put in there that feeds the engine. So basically, if you're ripping around the track around a long sweeper and fuel sloshes away from the pickup in the main tank, that little tank has a gallon of fuel in it to get you through that turn, and then when fuel sloshes back to the pickup in the main tank, it starts refilling that small tank, so you don't get fuel starvation issues while you're out on track.
It's a stock fuel tank and a big tank. It's a fairly large tank in there. It's super important to have that surge tank. I mean, so many people will starve their engines, especially with this much power. If you go lean with this thing, it's gonna be a problem, or it's just gonna shut down. The Haltech is really smart, so if something was gonna happen, it'll just shut the thing off. It'll just kill it.
Yeah, we programmed so many safeties in it. We monitor engine oil pressure. We monitor, obviously, lambda air-fuel ratio. You can set any parameter you want. If like you had a temperature sensor on the rear differential and it said it was over 200 degrees, you could shut the engine off if you wanted. I mean, that's obviously nobody would do that, but like you can set up warnings. You can set it, it doesn't kill the engine, but it limits you to half throttle and 3,000 RPM because it's getting hot and you want to make sure it lives, and maybe you're not paying attention to the gauges and you're just trying to drive through it. The engine management can save you in those situations. So we really try to like program things in to be as user-friendly. Again, driver doesn't have to think, driver drive, truck thinks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's trying to make it as easy as possible for you to get the most performance you can. And we talked about how, you know, if oil pressure drops, it can save it. I kind of glossed right over the fact that this has our road race oil pan in it. So it is still a wet sump, and a lot of track cars you'll go to dry sump, but dry sump adds weight and it's expensive and it's more maintenance.
It's very expensive.
Very expensive, like orders of magnitude. Like this oil pan's $600, a dry sump system's like 5,000. So,
right.
you know, when you're talking about cost, running a wet sump, if you can get away with it, is obviously the more economical choice. And because the Frontier is a truck, there's a lot of room for a big oil pan. So we have a road race deep sump. It's a 12-quart pan, fully like double diamond baffled, anti-slosh baffling. Like oil pressure is not an issue in a truck. Maybe if you put like slicks on this thing.
Still don't think it would be an issue.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's again, it's a little bit of cost savings, weight savings, and what sucks is you got to put 12 quarts of oil in it every time you do an oil change. But
you put the good stuff in it.
Yeah, and you put 12 quarts in when you do an oil change on a dry sump too, to be honest with you.
True
So
too.
you know, it's the exhaust system on this truck. Basically, every Frontier, Xterra, Pathfinder that we swap and build, Titans, Armadas, we run our swap headers for that platform. It's the same set of headers for all of them. They're made for us by Cooks. We own the design rights, but we partnered with Cooks in the production of that stuff. They've been experts in the industry for forever.
Long time.
Yeah, lifetime warranty, all that kind of good stuff. But 1 7/8 primaries, 3-inch collectors, and then we built a custom dual 3-inch exhaust, but it's side exit on the other side that you can't see in this video, and that puts the noise in white noise for sure.
Exhaust is real interesting because it's equal length. I was very particular about, I just wanted equal length and an H pipe in there, and just, I wanted the best of the best what we could do.
Yeah.
And you did it. You delivered it. It's a big exhaust. There's H pipe, V bands, everything I wanted's there. And the way you achieve the equal length of the exhaust was pretty interesting. How you put like the bend, kind of an S bend in there, because one's on the far side, one's on the close side, so it was naturally going to be shorter.
Yep.
And you just kind of made it work, and it looks fantastic. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the way this thing sounds.
Yeah, one of the things we did different on this, which is something I learned from Jesse over at Level 7 on a truck he built, was a late H. So basically the H pipe is, I think, 18 inches before the tips. It's all the way at the end of the exhaust, and it really changes the note. And I mean, there's no mistaking which vehicle you're hearing when you're at an event and this truck is out on track. Yeah, it's an LS, and people say all LSs sound the same. They don't. You can do a lot of things with the exhaust to make unique sounds, and this truck definitely has a note all of its own.
It's crazy. The 8,000 RPM supercharger going, exhaust, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then, the flames that shoot out the exhaust 2 feet out the side too.
Yeah.
That's always a nice touch. So
love it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an unproven platform, and you've been willing to work with us, help us torture test parts, get us really good data for improving our products, and just, helping us with exposure for the company and what we do. It means a lot to me personally, and for the coaching that you've given me over the years to help me improve as a driver. I really love the truck. I can't wait to see what you continue to evolve it into over the years. It's exciting to see where you'll take it, and let's get back to racing.
Cool, man. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to the LOJ YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for more content coming at you soon.